Good morning and welcome to Nettie's Art Studio. Well, we're going to have a little art session today, and I've been working on it for a long time because it started way back at Christmas time when, after Christmas dinner and all the presents were opened, my little granddaughter was getting restless. And well, to be honest, so was I, because, we usually put together puzzles or play games, but people were kind of doing their own thing because, my family doesn't get together that often. And when we do, we just have so much catching up to do. So, my little granddaughter had broken her arm and she couldn't do a whole lot of playing outside and all that kind of stuff. So Nettie got out her art supplies, Nana Nettie. And we worked and we worked and we worked. And I had come up with a procedure. Well, I'd come up with a technique called Talavera tile on canvas. And it started a long time ago because I'm just crazy about Talavera tiles. And, Fred and I go to Mexico all the time. And when I do, I always bring home a piece of Talavera. A spoon holder or a napkin holder, or, I've got some beautiful sconce lamps out on my patio. And, well, the little things I tend to break, so I kind of like replace them. So I was trying to figure out a way to do some art here in California where we've been living and without my regular art studio. So that's not really my art studio because I don't have one here. Really, I have a little cubby. Well, we wouldn't fit in there. If I tried to take the pictures in there, it just won't fit. And, Jimmy's not here to help me with all this stuff. I miss Jimmy. My next door neighbor, my paper boy, and my techie. Yeah, I love Jimmy. Well, anyway, so I was trying to figure out how to do some art projects other than my stained glass mosaic, because I can only do that at certain times. And with a little puppy around in this little studio, she's going to eat some of that stuff. So I decided to do some canvas work. Well, combine that with missing our trips to Mexico for 3 years. It's been almost 3 years. I decided, well, maybe I can just come up with a painting. And so I looked up on Google. I found a little platter that I just loved, and I copied that onto canvas. And I thought, well, it looks like a painting on canvas. And so you know what I did? I covered it with 2-part epoxy. And most of you have seen that. You can Google that because I didn't even show that in this video. It takes so long. I show you the results. But it's, you put equal parts of epoxy together, stir it up, pour it on, let it dry, and it looks like, whoa, beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to explain a little bit just what I've been doing and show you the procedure on a mini canvas and then show you the outcome of so many of them. I love them so much. Okay, enjoy. Get out your art supplies. Oh, and remember, if you want to do a little something like I'm doing, just stop it, pause it, and work on it, and then run it again, and then pause it until you're done with your project too. And if you have any questions, well, don't ask me about 2-part epoxy because YouTube's full of it, and nobody's gonna listen to Nettie when it comes to that. Oh well, I'm an expert, but don't tell him. Okay, enjoy. I forgot to tell you something. So right before I started working with my granddaughter, I had decided to practice on something other than that big tile, something little that I could show her. And I decided to make a picture of my darling Annie, the Labrador. And this was, a month before she died. And so I took this little picture that I did and showed it to my darling granddaughter. And that's what started the whole thing, that we were going to do the kittens and little Lulu and Annie. And so I finished Annie, and I want to show you that and a couple other projects along with the process of just making your own little tiny Talavera tile. So here is the finished product, and see how shiny that is? So it's somewhat like a tile, But I'll show you how I've done the other three actually. So when I did all that fun stuff with my granddaughter, here's the one that I was working on. And I love the Talavera style, you see. And then by adding that two-part epoxy, you get the shine and a little bit of the texture that it's really a tile when it's actually just a canvas. Just a blank canvas, sort of like this one. This is just a little tiny miniature. When you see these all over the place, see, they just make this little one, and you can do so many things with this, and we're going to work with that in a minute. Here's what my granddaughter did. She did this kitty, and all I did was an outline for her, and I'm going to show you how we did that with my little miniature canvas and this one. So all of these were inspired by paintings or drawings or pictures of tiles from Google Images. And so what I do is find pictures I like. Here are some that I am giving to my granddaughter for her birthday. We have, some, she loves these. So all these images, including something like this. Because all you really need is the outlines. Here's a mandala. This is something you can do just by using dots. And someday we'll do a rock, and I'll show you how that works. Oh, and look at this horse. These are wonderful drawings. Easy for kids to do. And I'm going to show you how that is. I'll show you how that is. So, let's get started. So here we are. Here is the canvas we're going to be working with. Just that little... It's about 2 inches by 2 inches. And we're going to use a piece of carbon paper. We all know that fun carbon paper. They call it graphite paper now. I still have some regular carbon paper. Apparently it's not so good for us. We just lay the carbon side down onto the canvas. And if you want to be extra careful, let's just put a little tape on that. Just a little bit of tape just to hold it still. So here we go, tape. Now, this picture is made, I gave my granddaughter for her birthday, I gave her some 4x4 tiles. And so I cut these all so that they will fit when she's doing this. So I 4x4 canvases is what I mean. And I sent those in paint pens. These are all done with acrylic paint pens. The one of Annie, I started with a paint. And I actually used paint and then decided that the paint pens would be easier. So what I'm going to do, this is obviously too big, but it doesn't really matter. I just want to get a regular old pencil with a pretty good point to it. You can use a stylus too. A stylus works, but a pointy pencil works too. So I'm just going to use one of my little drawing pencils. And the reason a stylus works better is, of course, because then it doesn't leave any marks on your original. But we'll try to be careful, and I'll print her a new one. So all we do, I'm just going to try to center that little heart there. Right there. That's about right. And all you do, if you wear glasses, I guess I'll make sure you can see that. Get your glasses on. Maybe turn on your light. Let's turn on my light. And start tracing the outlines. The thing about Talavera tile is a lot of the pictures like this are actually outlined in black. So you know exactly where to trace. We trace through that. And so, I would normally just freehand this one because it's pretty simple. But I wanted you to see how I do that. And I do that with all of these. You could easily do it with this, and you would outline all the different places where that meets. Where's that horse? Or something like this. Isn't this cute? Just see how you can just get all the outlines. And she loves these little kitties. We would probably just outline the kitty and maybe the eyes and the nose and the mouth and kind of just the outline of the, the kitty, and then let her fill that in freehand. Just so many cute little pictures. Greeting card. Look at how easy that one's going to be. Now, how cute. So let's just take that up. Double check that we got all the spots covered. Let's see. There it is. Perfect. So now this doesn't have to be perfect because your pen covers up any mistakes. So I'm just going to take some of this and transfer it here. I like, even though we're not going to do the big heart, I'm going to put this in on the bottom. I like this little V-shaped thing, and we won't do the full V. And then these little flowers that go on there. And let's just add more, even though that's not on the original. Just like that. And then we'll do some of these other flowers. A nice little daisy. And, this is like doodling, isn't it? And I tell you, it is the most relaxing thing I do. I just love it. And to make it into a new art form, for me, this is new. Covering it with the 2-part epoxy. And so let's do this part of it right here. So we have a little V thing here. And then like this, and the next one's a little shorter. And I think because this is littler and we don't have all the other, we can actually do one in the middle. And then on the sides here, let's try doing these. The beauty about hand-painted Talavera tiles, see how this doesn't really match? First of all, I'll probably do this and like this. They don't match perfectly, but either does Talavera tile. It just doesn't. And so, what other thing? It feels like we could put one more little thing in here. Well, I like that. I like this tail, but maybe we'll just put another little daisy right here. Just a little one. Yes, just a little daisy there. And maybe something in the corner. Yep, this is what we're doing. Okay, now we're going to start painting. Let me get my paint pens. Now we do the background last. I'm going to start with my reds. I do one color at a time. We're going to shake these acrylic paint pens. And you have to shake them and shake them and shake them. And you need to keep them on their side. Let's see what this color. Yeah, that's a good one. This is a medium point. And then I have these fine tip points. You can see that. And then I have this nice big one. And it's a little bit bigger. So let's start with a fine tip. Shake and shake and shake and shake and shake. And then you need a piece of scratch paper. Some scratch cardboard. And you just kind of poke it down. There, it's coming out just fine. Okay, so let's start with this. Outline it. So you can see any imperfections you had. will be covered up with the paint. And, you know, acrylic paints are forgiven because you can go back over your mistakes too. And we don't have to go for perfection. So now I'm going to go on to the next, this red, because it's a bigger point, and fill it in. It goes pretty fast. And it's, you know, when you're not sitting here talking, you can do some mighty fine thinking while you're doing your art. It's not mindless. People call this mindless art, but really, if you're sitting there thinking about wonderful things, even what you're going to create next, it's not mindless. Now, if it was a total spiritual experience, which some art is, it is mindless. Because spirit is helping you figure things out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the center in red. It's opposite of what this one was. This has got orange and red, but I wanted to make that heart red. Okay, and I think I'm going to make these red. Now, some of these, if the pencil shows through, I wanted you to see the pencil marks, and I don't usually do it that dark because, you know, it kind of messes up the first version. So that's what happened there. And so these I'm going to do in red. And this little center here is red. Now I might be missing something. Let's see. What are the centers? This is green. Those are orange and yellow. I think we're done. So we go on to our next color. I'm going to take out the yellow and the orange. So you're only going to really see the first coat. And then I'll be doing, after that, I'll do a few more coats before I actually show you how we do the 2-part acrylic. Okay, there we go. It's working. So where's our yellow? This is going to be yellow around here. It really helps if you outline the heart. I'm trying not to get too close. I'm doing this all in one step. A lot of times I would be letting this dry so we don't mix our colors. But I trust you all know what I'm doing. Some of it's, do as I say, not as I do, right? Now, I'm not really covering up the black on all of this because we go back at the very end. If you want to see how we did with Annie, you go back and you outline everything in black and it just makes it pop. Oh, let me take just a minute for you to see Lulu. I did Lulu. And look see, I did the same Talavera over here, but this I went a little crazy, made it a little psychedelic. I love this of Lulu. And so my little granddaughter said, Nana, you really need to have Lulu, Annie, and both kitties. And so I did one of our kitties, and she did the other one of our kitties. So I tell you, doing art with my granddaughter is one of the happiest moments. She and her brother, we do art together and other little projects, and they're very special. And this is yellow. I do a lot of art with all my grandkids. It's so special to me. Okay, I'm going to speed it up now so you see me do this and I'm not talking. is just the initial coat. We call this just the base. And it's so great because, you know, you can't make a lot of mistakes with Talavera tile. If you bought a set of dishes that were all hand painted, they'd all be different. That's what makes them unique and special. So we're going to let that dry, and Nettie will come back and work a little bit more on it. Till later. So here we are. This is the final product, and you know, it looks a little, well, it looks a little messy when you get a close-up of it. You know, that's the one thing, those new iPhone gadgets, Jimmy didn't tell me that they show everything. Well, it doesn't really look like this way when you look at it through this epoxy. It's so blown up that, you know, you see everything, but really, this is a kind of a little project that you can do and just learn. And you know, I see one little mistake where I didn't outline one of those little flowers. You know, I didn't see it before I blew it up. That's a good reason not to blow things up, I guess. So the last thing we're going to do is put a backing on it, and then we're all done. And so here's our finished tile. This is the back, and here I've used some sticky foam, and I've cut this out. And so here, you know, here's the finished product again. And you just turn it over. You can see where there's some of the epoxies on the back there. Now we're just going to peel off the backing to that sticky fun foam. And we're going to put it on, well, I can never get this. Come on, there we go. Now we peel that off and just center it on the back, right like that. So, you know, if you wanted to make a little coaster, there you have it. You have this little rubber backing. Of course, you don't need it for little pictures or if you want to make ear bobs or something, but here we go. It's all done. You know, just start doing art. It makes your day so happy. It brings me so much joy. Till next time, bye-bye. Don't forget to show me a little love by subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, and sharing with your friends on YouTube and Facebook.